Hello and good evening and welcome to EvilGinger Miniatures, where this is part of two parts at least this week. It's part one of two because it looks like the things that I was going to show you off on this show, which are the developments on the Forgotten Ruin 1914 project, won't be arriving till tomorrow at the earliest. Excuse me while I die slowly. All I got was some dice that I thought I'd put off till tomorrow, which are nothing to do with anything wargaming. They're to do with the roleplay things that I do as well, which are helping me from going completely party. Indeed, I was out all day today, consorting with all sorts of delightful people, from the glamorous Lana to the lovely Guy and my old friend Paul. And we were playing Dragonheart, Daggerheart, I think it's called, which is currently unavailable, and I have on order for when it actually does become available, because it's a nice game system for some people who like D&D-like games. But that's not the point of being here. The point of being here is wargaming, not talking about my gaming habits, which obviously I'm a gamer, so I have gaming habits. First of all, I managed to do a post run for work and get some stuff sent off that was hanging around. That was the Tankchers, who are going off to CP, and to Chloe Miller to help expand her enormous Mercian hold. And if you're not a member, please join her the CP Models Weird War group. Your membership would be greatly appreciated, as would anything Weird War related that you care to post. Lurkers are always welcome. This is the super glue I use. It's not the best super glue I've used, it's not the worst super glue I've used, but it's really available and it does the job quite nicely. Lasts 2 to 3 months when it's opened, and pretty much indefinitely before it's opened. I'd usually have some on the shelves. They can be on the shelf for a year or so. When it finally goes off, it turns into a sticky mess, but you've usually used most of the fluid, if you can see the fluid level in there, before it does that. How much you use depends on how much work you're doing. I frequently use most of it. You can usually tell if it's how good it is by how fluid it is in there. The gloopier and stickier it gets, the more it gets useful for sticking things to bases rather than for sticking bits and pieces together. It also works well with the Milliput and super glue trick, which I'm hoping to be able to do a video on when I've got the photography area clear and I can use it as a temporary painting desk, so I can actually paint online. I'm getting a tripod mounted webcam, which is going to have a good thing because I'm going to see the monitor. I'm going to be able to see what I'm doing on the monitor, and I'm going to be able to set things up, and I'm going to be able to see, what I'm doing, and produce less rubbish content thereby. But that's the super glue. It's available from all sorts of places, and it's the standard army painter stuff. This is the same plastic glue. Also works very well. It's plastic cement rather than the very runny glues, which I always have incredible trouble controlling where they go, and given that most of those glues will damage the surface of the things that you put on the plastic glue. Well, anyway, you want it to stay in the place you put it generally, I find. Now, moving on from there back to the 1914 project. No more developments on that physically because I haven't got the rule book, which I was hoping to have got before I did this. I suspect I might get it tomorrow, as I have notification that's been posted, so it'll either be tomorrow or Thursday it turns up, given it was sent second class from North Star, and they usually take a couple of days once you get notification. I'm also would like to talk about the dragon. The dragon is the EvilGinger dragon. It's a Reaper model, Reaper Modes model, that was the thumbnail for this, and that was photographed for quite a long time. I used it for the Etsy shop, and I generally really like it. Unfortunately, I have to admit that I buggered it somewhat when I was painting it, because it's made of white bones acrylic resin, and I speed dried it on a radiator at Spirit when I was working in the back room there, and it caused it to sag. Now, I have made several attempts to fix the sag, but it obviously doesn't, but it has decided that it's going to remember the position it's in currently rather than the position it should be in, and short of doing violence and putting actual proper pins inside the legs, I'm going to have trouble doing that. So now I've got Reaper set up, and when they've got their warehouse set up, I will be buying another one, and I will be painting it properly and not speed drying it on a radiator so it don't sag. But also considering, because it's unassembled, I should be in a position to put pegs in to keep bits that should stay straight without ruining an already painted figure. But that's the dragon for you. There will be a lot of painted Reaper stuff on the Etsy shop the moment I can get it from Europe rather than from the States, because it's just not cost effective getting it from the States. It's a factory business, and that's okay for me getting stuff that I need to use myself, but it's not okay if I'm selling it because there's no margin. And unfortunately, I need the margin because I am a small business and I need to eat. This is distressing and annoying, and I'd rather spend it all on soldiers, but you know what I mean. You know, reality gets in the way. You know, I need my internet connection, I do need my paints and the stuff. And I also probably need a very expensive camera, because this one isn't made anymore. And neither any compact cameras, even high-end ones like this one, because everybody uses their phone. Unfortunately, I have issues with phones, and despite the cameras having probably 2 or 3 times the pixel count on those, they isn't as good because the lenses are tiny, and that's pretty much it. And you can't fit additional lenses on them. They don't. I'm not sure about the macro setting, which is what you use for the tiny close-in detail. You know, it shows on all my painting mistakes, you know, like it does. And that's the issue. I would have to get a digital SLR, and that's 800 quid, which is I don't have, because the computer I'm buying for doing all, you know, the desktop is going to cost less than that, more than likely, and it will be a good one. Another thing I will show you about EvilGinger is I found, when I was cleaning out all the receipt books, the first EvilGinger stuff. It's not particularly exciting, but it's a little bag of receipts which I've got to keep forever, and a payment receipt book which I started in 2015. This is what I was shredding for my original business. They are duplicate receipts. You've got a front and a back, and you've got carbon paper inside, and you handwrite receipts. So you've got a record, and the customer's got a record. That was the one I used to use for Philips for when I used to work at Spirit for my retail support. So that's 10 years ago now. There are a few other bits and pieces in that box, all of which I'm almost certainly going to have to keep for a few more years. But it's much better only having one receipt book than 200 plus of the wretched things, which is what I previously had. Excuse me while I organise the chaos in here and get that out of the way. I've got some work going on, but again, it's out of the way on top of things, so I don't it doesn't get in the way when I'm painting. That's why this glue is here, because I've been assembling plastic models. They're models for the new Fallout game, and they're hella fiddly. I want to get painting them soon, but I don't want to rush them, and a lot of the stuff you have to glue together and then let go off, and 25, you know, it needs an hour or two to go off. I did some bit while I was waiting for the stream time, and they're sitting behind that filing cabinet, which is here. Won't show you the filing cabinet because it's got stuff on it I don't want to show people, like my secret bank account entry numbers, which I can't remember, you know, that sort of thing. And the winning lottery numbers for next Friday, I hope. Anyway, I had a great day today. I'm hoping you've had a great day, and I'm also hoping that you join the Weird World War One group. But remember, it's not just weird World War One; it's weird early 19th century, early 20th century warfare. So it can go anything from the Boer War onwards. So if you want to, and allows you to mix fantasy and historical, which is what I'm doing, or do historiofantasy, which is what other people are doing, and which the CP ranges are really good for. I'm not being sponsored by CP, by the way. I just like their stuff. And Mark Dixon, who runs them, is a nice bloke. He really is a good bloke. Same as the nice gentleman that runs War Bases, young Martin. I say young because he's younger than I am. So everybody younger than me is a lad. Especially John Martin, who is much younger than everybody and has somehow, through timey-wimey stuff, managed to work somewhere for 30 years. Don't know how that works, Must have a time machine in his wheelchair or something, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and I hope you're enjoying it, because that's part of the entertainment here, is me rambling. The dragon, by the way, is in a box which is up there. You can possibly see it with all my big monsters. It's a 9-litre box as opposed to the 4-litre boxes, which you can mostly see behind me. I need to do some more organising with the office, because this thing doesn't need to be where it is. In fact, I keep knocking it. Probably needs to go in the corner behind the door, so that when the door's shut, it's an uplighter and it helps light the room up. I need to sort the electrics out, so I've got enough plug sockets that I can put the light behind here, so I can use it as a modelling lamp and a lighting lamp for photography. I need to work out what to do with the photography. I need to find out what the hell's in this box that's behind me, and turn it into something a little less like a cardboard box I've opened and wondered what on earth it is, and generally get organised. And of course, I'm gaming probably Friday, and I will be out and about at various points, probably chasing parcels that have not been delivered because I can't get through the door. Or we've got a lurker again. This is good. I would really love to talk to you, because lurkers, all I can see is a person watching, because there's a little thing up by the number of, beside the 13.8 count live, and I answer your questions, talk to you, interact. That's what I'm here for. That's the whole point of a live stream. The filming of painting is likely to be, when I get it set up, likely to be not live. Well, possibly a mixture of live, because I can stream it from the webcam I'm going to be using, because I've finally decided that that's got to be the way I've got to do it. And I've got a little shooting table here, which I can sit in an alcove in there, and I can actually paint. I tend to paint. Probably need to sit higher than this, because I tend to paint down in front of me. And now I've got all the magnification glasses, which are these are the pair that I've been using for assembling, and I've already started to bugger because that's got glue on it. I really could do with getting some glass ones of these, at least of the basic lens base things, because they're so much more robust glass than acrylic, especially when you're handling stuff that sticks to acrylic really well, like acrylic paint, or eats acrylic like most glues. You can get the glue off, unless but unless it's sort of white glue, you are going to be stuck with the whole finger mark effect, and eventually it gets so pronounced that you can't actually see, at which point the glass is disposable, which was less of an issue when they were £1 each or £2 a pair, but they're now sort of 15 or 16 quid each if you buy them locally, and possibly nearly a tenner if you buy them otherwise, and are prepared to cross your fingers, clench your teeth, and wait for the likes of Yodel to deliver them, which is quite a scary thing generally. But I think I've rambled on quite enough for the night. The next project for the 1914 thing, other than creating the thing, which creating the platoon and the section, which I'm going to try and do live, hopefully when I've got the webcam and the desktop, I can basically work in front of myself in the area that's stuffed with the keyboard and just record what I'm doing. But that's the next stage up. Probably a month before I do that, but I'll show you the rules and I'll go through the rules and talk you through my modifications. I do need to print. I need to finish those modifications and get them printed. But again, I don't have a printer at the moment, so that's going to be a little trip down to the shops, into town. But again, my weekly gaming gets me out to play stuff and to be in town and do think that sort of thing, like I did a post about today. Anyway, I'm going to call it where we are that for now. Thank you very much for turning up and watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will tell you that I will be improving this considerably as time goes on. Mental health issues notwithstanding, as always. But take care and goodbye for now. There will be another bit tomorrow, I hope. Bye. Sean, before I close, yes, I will bug you. I've been meaning to go down to Books and Banter and bug you in person, but I've not got around to it yet. But I do intend to haul you in on that one. And also your professional editing skills, because I don't have any editing skills, amateur or professional. So speak to you later. Take care. And tomorrow, and I hope let's see what tomorrow's episode has. Bye now.